Sorry, no lo siento. Sorry, no lo siento. No lo siento. No lo siento. Sorry, no lo siento. No lo siento. No lo siento. Sorry, no lo siento.
Ay, no, mija. Otro día.
Otro día, otro capítulo.
Otro día, otro capítulo, otro problema.
I shouldn't laugh, but it's true.
Ay, no, mija, no. No puedes dejar que te gane la vida. Don't let the life beat you. But
Right.
it's just been a lot of... Man, we're just gonna freestyle this whole capítulo.
This whole episode.
This is gonna be called what? La Plática de Obstacles.
La Plática de Obstacles. I like that.
Why not?
Why not? Let's just
They're
roll with it.
just a lot. It's a lot of obstacles that keep presenting themselves to us. Right when you think we're good, right when you think okay, everything's gonna start flowing good, something happens, and I don't know. I don't know what to blame. I wouldn't blame it on anything. It's just I don't even know if I want to hear like, oh, it's a sign or you shouldn't be. I don't even want to hear none of that. Like I don't want to hear no justification to why there's obstacles. It's just it happened. It is what it is, and you gotta just keep pushing through it.
We're just moving forward with it at this point.
Estamos troqueando. Yeah, but that's I mean, we had a hiccup last week. We weren't able to record. It's just a lot of it's just technical stuff too. This time it wasn't even personnel. It wasn't even people that was not preventing us from preventing us. It was just the way the dominoes fell, I guess.
It just was like this freak electronic device failure that appeared out of nowhere unexpectedly.
Man, I know.
And it's nothing that either of us could control.
Yeah.
It just stopped working.
Yeah. People are probably like, what are you guys talking about? I mean, it doesn't really matter what we're talking about. All that we're trying to say is just last week there was just no way we could have recorded. Like it was an essential part of podcasting, audio. There's like a main piece of whatever all the sound goes into a mixer. I'll just say, we had mixer issues and I don't have an extra mixer. I do, but it's older. It doesn't keep up with the stuff that I have now. And there's nothing I could do about that. That just ended up happening the way it happened. And I was just more upset because it happened out of nowhere. And it happened so suddenly and it just threw me off because we were recording already. We had sat down and we had the Plática had started and it's like, yo, we're not recording. And it's like, what?
Unluckily, we had someone here who noticed it, because I think that if there wasn't somebody here, we might have just recorded a whole episode and not maybe realized.
We probably would have just put out video only that week because the video would have recorded with audio, but it wouldn't have been what you guys have been hearing the last 4 episodes.
Yeah.
And then like it's just all this stuff happening and kind of just makes you reflect and think. Like, I started telling myself that. I started telling myself, okay, is the universe trying to tell me something? Should I not be recording right now? Should I just worry about moms and everybody? Because I don't even like saying that. Like, just focus on my mom and spending time with them, because I have been spending time with them and I was still potting they've been here the last 2 months. I was still able to pod and do everything while they were here. So I'm not gonna say, oh, it's because I should be spending more time with mom. It's just it was their last week too, so I just figured, okay, why not? Let's just spend time with them. Let's not worry about editing, because a lot of the days of the week I was spending in the studio just editing, video.
Yeah,
and doing reels and stuff like that. So I wasn't able to spend too much time with them. I mean, I would go out to eat with them. I still do that type of thing, but most of the time I wasn't here in this little cave just editing. So the last 2 weeks has just been like, okay, cool. I wouldn't even say just relaxing or trying to figure it out. I wouldn't even say that, because I know what's the issue. I know what I need. It's just that I don't want to, like, mixers are expensive. People don't know already. If you want a good quality mixer, And my other one is like an elite mixer. I love it. And for that to happen, it's like, okay, cool. Either A, wait a whole month and don't don't do anything, and just just figure it out, just spend time to yourself, whatever you want to do within the next month, because crying about it, being angry about it, it's not gonna fix it. I'm not gonna have it back. It's getting fixed already. It's just I can't hurry up the process. I can't just be like, yo, I need this by tomorrow. So they're telling me it's a few weeks, and we weren't gonna record for probably a whole month. And then I said, you know what? I have my older mixer. I tried it out.
Right.
It did what it had to do. It works, but I'm just not used to having. I like to see levels and I like to see each track and see what each one's doing. This way, everything's just on one track, and it throws me off. So I don't even know what sounds high, what sounds low. So I did what I said I wasn't gonna do, and I bought a new mixer.
He bought it, which I knew he was gonna do this. Everyone, I knew it. I was like, he's gonna buy it. He's gonna buy it.
Why? Why'd you know that? Because you're kind of like me in the sense where, like, if something's bothering you and it's like, well, I don't like this, then at least for me, I'm gonna speak for me. If something's bothering me and I'm like, okay, I could buy something that could fix this. Yeah.
It's gonna bother me and bother me and bother me and bother me. Why don't I just buy it? I could possibly return it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you know what I mean? Because I think that you just were not happy with the fact that the old mixer was just putting everything on one track. And that was kind of, I feel like, creating some sort of issue
it's my bouginess.
In your mind.
There's my bouginess too, because I could have just thugged it out with the other one. I really could have. I could have been, whatever. But like they're telling me it's gonna be like about a month to get my mixer back. Who knows if it's longer than that. I couldn't see myself doing that for a whole month and plus.
Yeah.
Like if it was 1-2 episodes, cool, whatever, I'll thug it out. But then when they told me how long it's gonna be to get it back, I said, okay, I probably can't. I won't be able to do that for a whole month. Nah. So I jumped the gun. I bought it was not even a mixer. It's just, it's built, it's like for podcasts. It's an interface, and it does what it's supposed to do. And that's why you're hearing us now. So we're recording. But, and I've been having thoughts about it. Like I should probably just keep it, just have it as a backup, because if something ever happens again, I don't want to, like, I've never not been able to record because of a mixer. Like that was the first time that's happened to me. So I felt totally useless. I'm like, yo, I don't have nothing backup for this. With people, there, I can interchange them. I can have someone else come sit down in a chair. I can always find someone different. But with mixers, it's like I don't have mixers just laying around the house that I can just, plug in. I mean, I had an older one, but like again, like that was prior to the knowledge I have now. So that mixer doesn't do half of what my new mixer does. So.
And technology is constantly changing. So what was good at one point in a certain amount of time, it's almost obsolete, kind of.
Yeah, technology is moving way too quick, and all of these companies, like companies know, they see what's going on. They see that we're going towards everything's odd. Everything is media based now.
Yes,
and that's what the guy told me when I took my mixer. That's what the guy told me. He just said, he's like, I can't give you a turnaround, bro. I don't want to tell you 2 weeks a week because I really don't know how long it's gonna take. He
because
goes,
of demand.
Yeah, he goes, you saw when you came in and dropped it off, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you saw how much things are in here, and I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, right now, bro, it's the era of digital stuff and the digital age. So everyone has a mixer, everyone has some type of interface, everyone has mics, everyone has all this. Like this is just the wave now, So he told me, like, I just can't give you time because. Like he said, I'll just tell you this: the sooner you bring it in, the sooner you get it back. And I'm not mad at it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say how, because of technology changing, because now there's such a high demand for these items, it also creates more work for these people.
Yep.
And if there's not a lot of these people who are familiar with how to fix these items, it also there's like a whole chain of events.
Yeah.
It's all related.
Not everyone's a technician for this stuff. And that's another thing he told me too. When I took it in, the guy told me, he goes, I don't know how long it's going to be, just because he goes, my technician's going on vacation on Monday. I took it in on a Saturday. He goes, my technician's going on vacation on Monday for a week. He goes, so that's already a whole week that probably it's not even touched, you know, hasn't even been touched. So I'm just like, man. And the company of the mixer, because I still have warranty on it, they give you the authorized dealers to take it to. But even like, that's how you know that there's not too many people that are skilled in this, because he didn't give me too many locations. Just in Southern California, he gave me like 3 locations.
Wow.
I was lucky enough to where one was 40 minutes away from me. It was a county over, so I was able to drive and drop it off. But other than that, I think the closest one was LA. Like 2 in LA and then 1 here in the OC, and that was it for Southern California. Because when I called, the guy was telling me how to wrap it, to like send it, make sure everything is good. And I'm like, yo, hold on. I'm taking it to you. He goes, oh, if you're local, then cool. That's even better. So I'm like, yo, people are really sending their mixers to get fixed. And I could just imagine how long it takes for them, you know, for that to happen. But who knows what people are using mixers for? Because a lot of the bigger mixers, like the one I took, I have a bigger mixer, but those are for like live bands, you know?
Right. See, I didn't even know what a mixer was. Yeah. I've seen, like, just because I watch people on social media, and I've seen like little ones that people use, but nothing to the scale that you have. And the small mixers, I know I've seen people like videos for like personal podcasts, like, oh yeah, you know, use a small mixer, do this. But I honestly don't know what a mixer does. I do know that larger mixers are for music, studio, for people who play instruments and want to catch the right sounds and the levels, but that's all foreign to me. So I think that with mixers and this demand and the lack of technicians, it's also a great opportunity for anyone listening that if it's something you like to do, you like to fix electronics, this would be a great business for you to jump into, because there is a high demand for it.
For sure.
You're the solution. You're like able to provide solutions to a lot of people's problems, you know?
No, it's dead. Oh, wow.
I got it.
1:13. Oh, man. No, but it's true. Like, mixers are like, everyone's freaking mixers now, you know, like people are making mixers for podcasting, and
yes,
they're not built for that. That's why there's one that I got now. Like, companies, they see the demand of podcasting, they see how media is growing, so now they're making making it easier for the user. So like, well, about like this one, it's smaller and it's simple, but it does a lot in the small thing that it is.
It has a lot of capacity.
Yes, and it's more techie. So like this one, it has the options to even pick the mic that we're using. So I can pick this mic, the RE20, and it makes it to where the levels to where it's built for the dynamic of the room. So it has little things like that. It fixes your game for you. You don't have to do all the switching and stuff. You can go in there and edit it because it has a screen on it and everything. But it's built for podcasting. It's for streamers. And it has a channel just for Bluetooth, so I can, like, right now my phone's connected to Bluetooth, so I can just play something, and I have to figure out how you can hear it, but I can hear the music just playing it off Bluetooth. So it has channels that are USB drive. Like, I'm used to XLRs, TCR, you know, I'm used to
cables.
I'm used to the old thing. So like, they're making it more easier for us, but to me, if you're doing it this way, I don't want to shame people, but you're not a real potter doing it this way.
Do you think that with this newer technology of like USB or I don't know how it's connected to your phone through Bluetooth, do you think that they're going to go more towards that, like making everything like Bluetooth mics and Bluetooth this and a wireless type of technology?
Yeah, that's already happening slowly. But if you're into audio, you always know that anything wireless, you're not gonna get the same sound that you're gonna get through a cable. It's just like Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is gonna be way stronger when you connect it directly than when you're on Wi-Fi or your internet.
Correct. Yes.
You know, so I can see them going towards that, and the average user, they're cool with that. You know, most people just want to record something, have sound, and throw it out. They don't really care about the techie side of things. You know? So me, it's just a little different. Like, I care too much.
And we'll touch on that. So do you think, here's the question. I've been thinking about this since we've had this issue. Do you think that for you, this is a question for you specifically, does quality play a role in what you put out is that a factor that hangs over your head, the quality of the audio?
Yeah.
And do you think that you focus too much on quality?
Everything, yeah.
Everything. And then it's like, I was listening to a podcast randomly. The audio, I could hear like the cars in the background, but she was very transparent. She's like, you know what? She's like, I'm not going to edit anything. She lives in New York. You could hear the fire. She's like, there's a fire truck coming. Let's give it a second. It's very transparent, but I love her podcast. It does not stop me from listening. So sometimes I think that there's like this, what does the listener want? You know, do they want quality? Do they care? Do some people really, are there sticklers out there who are like, I love the quality? Is it more people who are into sound? Because like, I'll be honest, before, if you listen to Healing with Nicole podcast, that was with some headphones on my iPhone. I had a little
your audio was pretty bad.
but
it was listenable though.
But people would send me stuff and say, hey, Nicole, I really loved your podcast.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I know it kind of sounds, you know, it's not great quality. You can hear all the creaks in the house and like, you know, but there's like that give and take of quality.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
the content.
I know I should just put the content out. I know I shouldn't care. Like, I'm in a position to where I shouldn't really care, to be honest. Mm-hmm. We're in a spot where it don't matter how your audio sounds. It don't matter how your video looks. Just throw it out. Just throw it out, because it does hinder you. It does when you want it to be perfect. But that's subjective though, because I want it to be perfect to me. I don't need it to be perfect
to your standard.
Yeah, I don't need it to be perfect to where, because even when I put out what we put out, it's like I see how it could be better. I see other pods. I'm like, yeah, see, we don't got that yet. We're not there yet. But to be where we're at now, like, I'm happy with what I put out, and that's all that matters to me. Like, the audio is good to me, because I'm aware of stuff like this now. You know, before I knew about audio, but I never listened to it to where it's like, okay, nah, this is so low. Like, why is my volume up at 50 and I can barely hear this? You know, I never looked at it like that. I never cared. But then, honestly, what messed me up was when I started listening to Joe Budden.
I started listening to him too, and I was like,
do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Like, how does the music that Parks play sound better than the actual file? Like, it sounds better on the pod than when you play it in your own car. So I started paying attention to it. I will say this, podcasting with you has taught me so much and opened up this whole new world that I was completely unaware of. I was completely just blind to. Like, what a mixer is, the setting up a mic, you know, this Audacity stuff. But also, I started paying attention to podcasts in the car, because you always made a point, like, how does it sound in the car? And I noticed that I was driving to the gym and I was playing a podcast, and I had to turn the volume like all the way up. And I barely can still hear.
And I was like, this is what he's talking about. Yeah. You know, like, I listen to what you say, because there is a method to your madness for sure. It doesn't go unnoticed. Like, I pay attention. I'm like, what? Wow. And then I'm like, this is on like 36 and I still can't hear. But then you take another podcast, ours, for example, because I listen in the car and I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, I don't have to put my volume so loud. Yeah. And there isn't that like static because you have to put the volume so loud. So
yes. And there's no static.
I get what you're saying. I get it. Like, now I'm like, wow, like, I'm in this whole there's levels to this, and
there's levels to it, dog. Yeah. But like, and I know there's levels to it, but like, why do I care about the levels when I'm not like? Why do I care about the levels when there's people that are lower level doing this at a lower level, but are getting way more reception? And I mean, more recognition. They're getting more interaction. They're growing their platform faster.
Platforms, yeah.
But I also know it's because I'm avoiding social media myself.
You
like
yourself,
me,
yes.
Chris, the person, I'm avoiding social media. And that's the game now. Like, you have to, if you want to build a brand, you need to be on there. And the other day, like, I had this epiphany. I'm like just scrolling on Instagram, and I'm like, I went through, like, you know, when you click on one reel and then you start scrolling and it's like a bunch of reels.
Yes.
So now it hit me, and I'm just like, yo, if you're not making content right now, then you don't belong on social media. Like if you're not making, because I watch videos and it's just like a dad and his daughter just doing whatever, but he made a content out of it. And then you see the most randomest things that everyone's making it content because you need content. If you're not doing video format on Instagram, then you're not growing for nothing. Like it's not, why are you even on there? So I had the epiphany where I'm just like, man, like this is really what's stopping. And I know I've been known it. It's just that it's so hard for me to care about recording myself.
So I came to that conclusion recently as well. So I have been listening to a class that was shared with me. It's a group of women that all recorded. It's kind of like, I don't like to use the word master class, but it's just like all these women who are successful online and they each take time to share tidbits about what they've done. And that's what one of the women said. She was like, you're creating content, but I think that as creators, if you want to call yourself that, we overthink it too much.
Yeah.
Because everything is content.
Yeah, everything.
Everything. She's like, this woman, she was like, I post myself when I wake up in the morning and I'm making my coffee. And she's like, my hair's a mess. And I take a picture and put it in my stories. And I say, oh, have a great day. I'm having blah, blah, blah coffee. Do my little, share my to-do list for the day. And she goes, that's content.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think that social media is divided into two people, creators, consumers, and the people that consume and
creators
watch.
And consumers. Yeah.
That's it. And I think sometimes even myself, with my own brand, I find that I have a huge challenge with showing my face on my page. Like sometimes I'm like, do I want to show my face? Do people even, I share a lot to close friends, as you know, but I'm like, I need to move that over to the general.
Yeah. Because that formula you use for close friends, what helps you grow.
That's the formula that's to grow. Yeah. And so it's like,
you just sharing every day, like, hey, close friends, this is what happened. Like that, like, yeah. Like as much as, because in our heads, we think, why does someone care about how my day was? But people were like, yo, when I'm scrolling through stories and then there's someone that's gonna start breaking something down, I stay and I watch it, even though if I don't care about that person at all. They're just a random Instagram whatever person. If there's a story happening, I'm gonna stay and I'll watch the full story get broken down, just like the way you do it. Your stories they're like a cool 5, 6, 7 of them, but it's a whole story being told. So why would I just look at 1, 2 and then just dip? You want to see
formula. That's the formula. And sometimes I think about my content. I think about it. Oh, I think about it, and then I'll put all this effort into it, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't do that well. But then I'll just be like, I was in a meeting yesterday. Sorry, work, but it's true. I was in a very horrible, boring meeting. And I was paying attention, but I had pulled a card. And the way my work setup is, like, they couldn't see what I'm doing down here. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this is a great card, So I took a picture of it, did a little recording, made the post. Boom. No, it was just like, wow, I think this is a great post. Like, it just happened. In like 5 minutes, I created this content. And I got like over 3,000 views.
Yeah.
And I'm just like...
And that's the thing too, where like you have to just keep creating no matter what happens to no matter how well the post does.
And like I've told you before, we focus on, that's an obstacle for people. Like you get discouraged.
Oh,
I didn't get a lot of likes. Oh, I didn't get a lot of comments or views. But if in real life, 3,000 people saw me.
It's a lot.
If I was in a room full of 3,000 people, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot, yeah.
If 50 people talk to me in that room, that's a lot of conversation. Yeah. Perspective.
And it's just the game. Like when you're building a brand, when you're building an account, when you're building a profile, you have to just throw everything, just throw it. Because not everything's gonna stick, but some stuff will stick, and that's how you keep growing your account. If you everything you create is technically we do that, right? Everything you do create, you aim for it to do something big, right? Yeah, to do well. And when it doesn't, you do get discouraged, but you can't let that obstacle get in your way. You have to just keep creating every day. If you posted 5 things every day, then yes, you're gonna see more followers come through. You're gonna see more interaction on your page. You're gonna start seeing them. You're gonna start seeing it grow. Like you can't just, I feel like doing it today. Like that, it's really a job. Social media is a job, and until people really get that through their head, then it's like it don't matter what you do. And I understand that. And I get that. And I'll never forget when Dennis said, and it hit so hard, and I still use it to this day, when he said, you got to make content for the content. And that's my biggest challenge. Because even yesterday, the other day, I was with my brother, we're talking about something, and he goes, well, aren't you a content creator? And I'm like, well, I forgot what I said, like, oh, content creation, something. He goes, well, aren't you a content creator? And I'm like, and it made me think about it. I'm like, well, I am a content creator.
You are.
I create the content, but then you need content for the content. Like, yeah, I can sit, like, right now what we're doing, we're creating the content. This is creating the content. You know, yes. I'm a content creator, I guess, quote unquote. But then
you are, yes.
This is not enough. This is not enough. You still got to make the IG videos. You still got to make the reels. You still got to make promo. You still got to like talk about it. You still have to do everything else for this piece of content.
And that's where they say that repurposing content is such a big thing, because it's like, we also I'll say me, I focus on, I want something new. I want something new. But it's like, maybe I can take this same formula from this previous reel, reuse maybe the audio, maybe reuse the same kind of concept, but talk about something different. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like we want to keep some new. And have you heard, I think you've heard of him, Gary V. Yeah. So I watched him this morning because I try to get motivated with him. And he said,
I listen to Sound Wonder before I listen to Gary Vee.
So
shout out to Sound One. Hey, yo, Sam, I need you on the pod, Sam. I need you on the pod, Sam.
She's great.
For real. No,
I do. Sorry. I watch her every day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't watch her content, because she's just so real. Like, get up. She was actually eating at like a breakfast place, and she was like, are you out of bed? Yeah. She was like, unless you work nights, she was like, you should be out of bed. Like, she just...
For real, though.
But for real, you got to have that hunger and that hustle mentality. But Gary Vee was saying that you should create content that is your authentic self. You should be creating content that is you. You should not be creating content that is just for the algorithm, because then you're just stuck in that loop. And he made the example about how, like, a lot of people like to do like the dances or show their bodies. He's like, now you're only limiting yourself to that. Like, who are you? That's what people, if you look at all successful people, San Juan is a great example. She is her authentic self. Yeah. She doesn't care if she got the wonky lash. She don't care if her pelo está todo. She doesn't care, because
food on her cheek, and she don't
she's
care.
Like eating and like smacking and whatever. She don't care. Yeah. But she's being herself, and people love that authenticity. And I think that, you know, I can say for myself, one of my obstacles is I look at other accounts, and, you know, comparing yourself is horrible to other people. But if you look at so many successful accounts, they're all like the cookie cutter copy of each other. Yeah. And it's like, I would aspire to be different. Yeah, not cookie cutter mold, you know.
I'll be honest, I get discouraged just when I start seeing all these pods now. Not discouraged because of like what they're doing and we're not. I just get discouraged because it's like, okay, this is like pods getting played out.
But is it getting played out? You know, because I think that everything is saturated.
It is.
Like, social media is saturated. But there's only one Chris X Max.
Exactly. I get that. That's why earlier I said too, where you know, like this podcast wave is just is growing faster than I would have thought. You know, I got into podding 2016, 15 when I heard Tax Season pod. Tax Stone was the first pod that I was just like, yo, I don't know what podding is. Like, I'm brand new to this, but this guy, like, this is great. Like, I love this. And I started just listening to pods, and my love for it started growing more and more. But then now I started seeing like all the ones that suggested things, and just people I'm just like, okay, if it is getting saturated and everyone is bringing up a pod, how do I stand out? What do I do to stand out now? What do I do? Like, what's so interesting about me? And it bugs me because I personally don't feel like I'm a very interesting person. You know, like, I think I shine more. Like, if we're talking music theories, just like rappers, artists like that, then yeah, like, put me in that convo. Like, I'll say something I said that stuff about Cardi B, and then the next day she kind of said, "Yo, I'm doing this." You know, I said certain things about artists, and they announced it right after. So I'm just like,
you had me when we talked about the whole Cardi B situation. I was like, did Chris like foresee all of this? Because it was like literally she was in an interview talking about the Spanish
songs, yeah.
And you called it on the pod. You were like, oh, you know, they're probably going to have her do a Spanish album.
Yeah. I mean, because it just makes sense. You know, that's what really helped me during Conspiracy. When I started doing Conspiracy, it made me just really see how the world works and how everything plays the way it plays. And not even in a discouraging type of way. It's just they try to recreate everything, and if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So that makes sense. Like making Cardi do a Spanish album makes sense because that's a whole market that they have not tapped into since Selena. So I don't care if anybody just took it the wrong way. I not once said that Cardi B is the next Selena. I never said that.
I never said
Cardi B is even close to a Selena. I never said that. I just said the industry has been trying to replicate another Selena since Selena, and why not use Cardi B when she's already halfway there? She's already as big as, I want to say as big as Selena, but she's already pretty international. It's only so much she can go. Once she gives you that Spanish album, she out of here. Like now she's really gonna be in the Grammy and the Latin Grammys and all that stuff. Like she's gonna cross over fully, and
she's gonna be on Univision and Telemundo doing her interviews. And yeah, that's
what I'm good at. But when it comes to like, when I see certain pods, it's like, even like when I do OB, it's like OB is nothing new. Like that format's already been, it's already been used. But like you said, no one is me. No one is the Good Brothers. No one is Dennis. No one is Tony. Like no one is us. So I get it. But how do we make people care? Like how do you make people care? And if I don't like to think too much about that, because then I start creating for the consumer, and I don't like creating for the consumer.
It has to be creating for
what I want to do.
Right.
It's what I want to do. But if you don't see it working, if you don't see it elevating, then something in you has to like, okay, let me step back and let me see. Let me hear people out. And I don't like doing that. And I'm getting to a point where I might have to start seeing how I can like maneuver and like ask for help maybe, and see, but like I was telling my mom this other day too, like when it comes to like, because I told her I need to start being in rooms where I'm the dumbest person. I feel like I'm in every room that I'm in, I'm always usually the smarter one that knows the most out of everybody.
You need to elevate your company in order to elevate yourself as an individual, so that you can learn and evolve from those people.
But then But then my mom said like, see, you need to be around different people because you need to be open to other people's ideas and them to know how they do things, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I feel that. But when it comes to like podcasting, you can't really tell me what to do. Like, I'm like, because when it comes to like how to run a show, how to produce a show, to me personally, you can't tell me how to do that. Like I can figure that out. I know what will sound good on the pod. I can, like, that to me is where my cup of tea, right? But when it comes to hearing other people out about how to grow my network and how to grow my social media, then I'm all ears, because that's not my expertise. I don't know how to do it. Besides, obviously what everybody says to do, which is post all the time, create content for everything, post 7 times a day, whatever, but I know there's different ways to do it. I know, like even I was even thinking like, we should start doing a lot of like not segments, but like when we talk about certain celebrities and artists on the pod, we should be chopping up those parts, making them into reels, tagging them, and that's what we need to be doing, tagging different people to start getting the attention of people. But I see it, the way I'm trying to do podding is just that, like, even since I stopped doing Conspiracy, I don't reach out to guests at all no more. So before, that helps you out, the guests help you out, but now it's just like, okay, if you're trying to do it all by yourself, you don't have a name, it's just you and me and you, we have pretty, small accounts compared to other people. If we're trying to do it the way we're trying to do it, it's gonna be a long run. But people care about what we gotta say, but it may not be 200, 300 plus people that care what we're gonna say. So it goes back to like, how do we make people like care? How do I make people tap in? How do I start getting interaction? How do I start getting random followers to just look at the account and be like, we like this, like, what's this? should we like even right now, like we said Sam one, that's gonna be a real, we're gonna tag her and try to get her attention. You know, I want to start, we need to start getting even just people in our community's attention, even people with the 50K followers, with the 40K followers, you know, with the 20, like even the people with the low following accounts. Like we need to start just getting the attention of people if we're gonna do this just us, because next week we can be like, okay, you know what, Nicole, next week we're just guests from now on. We can start doing Siento and having a guest on every week without telling people that we're gonna start having a guest, and we're gonna see it just grow even way crazier. We'll see it grow way faster. But then I start thinking like, I don't want a pod like that. Like I want people to tap in for us. I want people to tap in for what we gotta say, and that's when I start battling with the, are we that interesting? You know, why would people start listening to us?
I feel you on that, because I think that when you have guests,
that's the interesting part.
That's interesting. But then I feel, this is just me, I was a guest on a lot of podcasts last year or the year prior. Time is just not real. But I was a guest on a lot of different pods. But why was I a guest on a lot of different podcasts? It's because so-and-so saw me on your pod. Oh, so-and-so saw me on so-and-so's pod.
Yeah.
So-and-so saw, and it's almost like, and the term community to me, I'm going to say it's kind of cliquish. I'll say that. I feel like there's a recycling of guests to keep the show relevant. But would the show be relevant if you did not have to constantly recycle guests?
Yeah.
And I think that we are in a place where, as much as we want to follow the formula to elevate our podcast, we also want to be true to ourselves and not have to rely on finding someone to bring in people for us. We want to have that ourselves.
Yeah. And it's interestingly enough that you say that, because, you know, I pay attention to the pod game and this podcast. And if it's not Joe Budden, all these pods only get big once they start having guests. That's every pod. Like right now, I would say right now the top pod right now in a way is the Full Send podcast. You heard of them? The Nuck Boys. They have like the biggest. And it's funny because I wasn't there from the beginning. You know, I was already kind of like, obviously, like I said, when they start having the guests, you start seeing the reels pop up on your page. You start seeing that, what was this podcast? You start seeing obviously the hip hop blogs posting the hip hop artists that start going there and stuff. So I start finding out about this new pod. I'm like, oh, who is the Full Send? Some white people. So to me, it's always like, okay, who are they? What are they? Where do they come from? So I start doing my Googles, but then that show didn't become what it became until they started having like the Trump on there. They started having, the Adrian, what's his name? The one from the football player, AB. They started having like Lil Durk, Lil Baby. They started having controversial people. You know, they had like the Trump one really just took them over the top. Like they did like 1 million like in a day, I think.
Wow.
And to me, it's like, okay, see, this pod has become a powerhouse now because the big guests started coming on, you know? Same with Drink Champs, like, you know, Nori. People not tuning into Drink Champs with no guests. People are tuning into Joe Budden with no guest.
Correct. I've noticed that.
And when he has guests on there, he brings them on the last hour. It's not the whole episode. He still gives you a whole 2 hours with him and his co-host, and then the last hour he brings in the guest and he closes it out like that. And he never puts featuring this person, so he never hit the episode because, oh, look at this guest on the episode. Everyone's tuned into him because of what he got to say.
Because of him.
And that's already been what he does millions of plays every week. You get me? That's all. So like that's the only pod that I've seen him grow it based off it being a good show. Obviously he's Joe Budden. People are tuning into him, but he's able to keep the listeners in, you know, still to this day.
Engaged, yes.
He let go of 2 co-hosts that helped build the show, brought in 2 different co-hosts, and look, and it's back up to where it used to be. Like only Joe can do, like, yo, it's amazing. Like, so I saw that example and I said, you know what? I need to follow that because it's true. Same with Taxstone. Taxstone used to always say, like, I don't like having guests on my show because I want people to tune in for me, not for the guests. I need you here every week for me, not because of who I have on, like, who's on to be on the show. But again, like, if you want your pod to grow crazy big, the guests have to be a part of it. So that's why, it's like you said, like which way do we want to go? And I want to go this way. It'll be such a satisfaction to just keep building what we're building just by ourselves, So when we get to a certain point, no one can tell us nothing, like nothing at all. Like now, if we want to have guests, we can. We deserve to have guests now. We work towards to get guests. Like, to be honest, I didn't deserve a Hotep Jesus on Conspiracy, and I don't say deserve as in like he shouldn't have done it. I say that in a way where if it was someone else with that big of an account, they wouldn't have even paid attention to me. That wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened, and I'm like, yo, Conspiracy did his thing. But again, Conspiracy grew fast because of the guests. As soon as guests started coming on board, the place started getting bigger. The interaction started getting bigger. People were tuning in every week. I didn't have to even tweet the episode sometimes, and 100 plays would be there.
Yeah, you didn't have to do anything with that.
So, just obstacles, man. Obstacles. But we're gonna. I want to keep growing this account, and honestly, like it's just about. I'm also realizing, Nicole, and we've already said this a lot of times too. I severely need a team. Like I so need a team. Even like yesterday when I'm trying to, I was messing with the mixer. I was just trying to set everything up yesterday. Just having to go from over there and then having to run over here, just change some things and going back over there to see if it works. It's like, man, like it's a lot. Like I'm the tech guy too. I'm the tech guy as much as I'm the talent, as much as I'm the producer, as much as I play so many hats, and I get it. That's part of running a business. I get it, and I'll play all the roles right now. But I also know that I'm not fully focused because I'm worrying so much about technical stuff. I'm worrying so much about just the way that everything's running that it's hard for me to sit down. Okay, even right now I tell you a certain time, and then we don't even start till like 30 minutes after we start because I have to make
changes, check,
and make sure. I may think it sounds good because you're not on here yet, and as soon as you get on here, it's like, okay, it doesn't sound good. I'm gonna go, oh, you can't hear the music. Oh my gosh, like it's just. And I hate when I'm hitting you up like, yo, can you get on real quick? Just because I don't want to waste your time because I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't know how much time I need you. I just need someone on the mic just so I can get the levels right and everything. But
yeah,
it just I'm like, yo, I really need a team, and I need a team that I'm also realizing I need a team that knows how to use a mixer, knows how to use the camera switcher, that knows how to use the Logic, that knows how to use the technology, because every time I bring new people in, I have to re-explain everything to them. Like everything, I have to go over it again, and sometimes they don't even get it still. And it's like, you know what? I don't just want to have people on here that just, okay, I can make some quick money, so I'll go help you out. Like I need someone that's really gonna be here and be like, yo, bro, this sounds bad, or just gets up by himself and comes and moves the camera, without me having to say anything, So
yeah, it takes a lot. The production is a lot.
It's a lot that goes into post-production. A lot that goes into this. And if you're in the IE and you want to work, hit me up. Limited budget, but if you want to grow something, if you want to see if I'm serious about this, and if you're serious about trying to pursue something in media, let's work, man. Like for real. If you're in the IE, hit me up. Because I'm just it's not discouraging. It's just another obstacle, Nicole.
It's just a challenge.
It's challenging. It's challenging. I was so frustrated yesterday too because I was learning a mixer all over again.
But that's part of it too. It's always I was thinking about how, for example, back in the day we had a typewriter, right? You just type on the typewriter. If you messed up, you use the little stuff and
go back,
typed over it. Or whatever, or you write in a notebook. But now it's like, because everything's changing so much, you have to learn everything. It's like for me at work, I work from home and I have a work computer. It's like now they want us to use this instead of that and this new program. And it's like, and me, I like
if it ain't
being
broke,
comfortable.
Don't fix it.
Yes. And so I'm just like yesterday they were talking about it in the meeting about how we need to start using this program. And I'm like, I don't like it though. I don't see the benefit of really using it, but it's forever changing.
It's like you've been to where, I'm not gonna say where I work, but you've been to where I work, right? and they still using the same old registers. You know, they don't upgrade, and it's like, yo, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it works and delivers, just let it be.
Exactly.
That's how I am with.
Yeah.
You know.
But like, luckily, I have a certain level of knowledge about mixers to where I understand certain things, you know. But it's just like right now, I don't know why you can't hear the music when I don't play it. Like that, it should work. But I see that's something I have to learn all over again. I did that already with my other mixer. Got all the cables that I needed. I fixed it to where you were able to hear the music and everything. But now it's like doing it all over, and it gets me frustrated because I know this is only temporary too. I'm gonna get my old one back. And I'm like, I'm wasting so much time just learning things. But then I start like, I tell myself, stop thinking about it like that. Now you know how to use a Rodecaster. Now you know how to use this one. It's one of the top podcasting ones. Usually people that have the top podcast, this is what they're using, you know? But Joe Budden and them, because he has a music guy with them, Parks is an engineer, they use a mixer, you know? So I use a mixer too. And so I was just mad, like, man, how come this doesn't work? This doesn't work. It's not working like a multi-track the way I wanted to work. And I'm like, yo, I just started getting mad. So after I hung up with you, I turned everything off. I'm like, let me just go take some time away from everything. Came back around later in the afternoon, and when I told you, like, let's try again. And then I was just like, you know what, whatever. Let's just go tomorrow. I had everything set up, but I wanted to give it another go to do it a certain way. But even today, I told myself yesterday, you know what, like, stop. This is my thing too, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing because it's like not giving up, but I needed to work the way I want it to work.
Yeah,
because I know I can make it work. Like the way I'm making it work right now, it's not how I wanted it to do. It's not how I wanted to do it. But I just said whatever. It's not
where you're here of where you want it to work, and it's kind of like, and you want it to be here. Yeah. But it's here. Yeah.
And so I just let it go. I'm like, you know what? Like I said earlier, either I trip about it or we just don't record.
Or it's either we gotta.
And it's just another obstacle. And again, like, just don't give up. And I think our how do you say this? Not our patience, but we're being tested just being in different cities too.
That is a major one, which we've talked about, because it's like other people, and this is because of you, I pay attention to this more. Other people have, they have a co-host like we do in another place, but they're using like the Zoom audio. They're not like, and then you hear that they're talking and they're like, oh yeah, because like the Zoom goes out, and I'm like, oh, I see what you see. I see it from your lens, because before I would listen to podcasts like, oh yeah, they're on Zoom. And then it's like, oh wait, but we're on Zoom too, and we're giving you this quality. Yeah. But we're also, because we're providing this quality, we also have all these challenges that we encounter because we're not going the easy route.
Yeah, that is true. Is true. When you go the easy route, it's easier. And
it's easier.
When you go our route, it's just presentation matters, and we care. And that was my biggest thing too, because even before, like, I knew what I was getting into when I signed up to do a pod with you. When I even presented the idea to you, like, I never in my mind said, okay, Nicole's gonna move down here, and I never once thought, okay, we're gonna be in the same room like quick within like the first few months. Never, So I went in with it with that intention of, okay, we're gonna be remote. Cool. I was already doing 33 minutes, so I kind of had a feel for doing a remote type of thing. But that wasn't like my show. I wasn't my idea. So maybe that's why I didn't put pressure on them like that. Maybe I didn't care about how the way it looked, because it wasn't like my show.
Your name, yeah, it wasn't.
Like, my name was on it, but it wasn't. I wasn't producing
your production.
It. Yeah, well, right. I wasn't producing it. That was Cujo. Shout out to Cujo. He was Cujo. He was producing. He was producing that. And then so I never really cared like that. But then I got a taste of, okay, this is how it is to kind of do it virtually. But we weren't using mics. We weren't using. I was on my headphones. It was just very, very simple. Very simple.
Very simple.
So then when I brought it to your attention, like, my head, I had already kind of was thinking like, okay, how can I make a virtual one work? And the only thing that I was even thinking about in the beginning was just audio. So I was just like, obviously, to get better audio, just have that person record their audio on their end, and then me on my end, and then just sync them up together. That was like so obvious to me in the beginning. But then obviously it's like, I didn't think too far ahead as to Does Nicole know how to use Audacity? Does Nicole know about mixers? Does Nicole know about like none of this stuff? And I'm like, I'm not there to really explain it and set it up for you. So, but eventually we talked about it. We were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do a pod. We were open to the idea of making it sound dope, and then even just making it look even dope eventually. And so. Yeah. So we brainstormed it, and then we started the show. And obviously when we started the show, we were able to do 3 episodes before we dropped the show. So any hiccups that we did have, we didn't have a set date, so we were able to lay out, how do you say it?
We were able to have a layout, work through it, didn't have to worry about a delivery date.
Yeah. Well, we were able to smooth everything out. Yeah, we were able to smooth out everything that we had issues. The audio got reworked like 5 times each episode, so it gave us that grace period. We had everything a month prior to. We did all the promo, everything before it was go time. We did everything.
We just had it, yes.
Which it's understandable. You get everything ready, you announce, you drop. But then the way podcasting works is like we're here every week. We're not gonna so what? We drop 3 episodes and then we just take a whole month off again, then drop 3 episodes again, then take a whole month off. No, it's not going to be like that. So we didn't think too much of the weekly thing. Mm-hmm. And obviously the first domino went down when we had our engineer problems, and it's just like that whole thing, everything just trickled down. Everyone that I was asking, no one was down. Joe took a while to come on board just because he was busy doing his thing, and it was EDC. He was just, he wasn't ready to fully start yet. So we just waited out the whole month, and we and then eventually we came back. But I knew what I was getting into. I knew there was gonna be obstacles. I just didn't think it was gonna be this often.
Yeah.
And honestly, even when we were talking about the show, right? When we were initially bringing the idea up, we had an engineer before Sammy even came on board. We had someone so that's why I never thought it was gonna be a lot of hiccups. I thought everything was gonna be smoothly. I was already podding. It was just pivoting to a new pod.
Because we had a plan. We had been discussing this for so long that I think, I don't know about you, but in my mind, I was like, okay, we're foolproof. We have checking everything off the list. Boom, boom, boom. And then it was just like every domino fell.
Every domino
even
fell.
Though we had this list.
Like it took us a while just to start recording because I had to buy cables to make you able to hear the music and everything like that. And as soon as we got all that situated, homegirl, she dipped on us. Respectfully, not even mad at you. If you still listen, I'm not upset. But she dipped on us, and that I didn't expect that at all to just come out of nowhere. And it happened we recorded 1 episode with her, and then we had to redo the first episode, and she dipped on us. So that was the first damn. Luckily, I had my other homie that was available literally the day after he came through. He was like, "Yo, I got you, whatever."
Yeah.
Showed out way more than I thought he was gonna show out. He started he mixed did great mixing. Was the first time he's ever done this. I was satisfied, but even then I was like, okay, don't get too comfortable because I just know him and I know how he is. So I was just like, let me just see how this is. And I kept telling him don't get my hopes up. And then that happened too. So after that, I kind of did get discouraged a little bit as far as, okay, now I'm running out of people. I really don't know. Luckily, I still had, Joe on the tuck. Mm-hmm. He came through, eased the process up a little bit too. Because of him, I was able to have, meet Eugene, and Eugene eased up the process as well. And then just now the technicals, it's so much stuff to where it's
especially because you want a team, because you have this vision. And I think it's also very discouraging when you see people, people personally, because I have nothing to do with this because I don't meet these people in person. Yeah. You do. You know them. You deal with them. You have these conversations with them. And then it's you have all this, you as a visionary individual see, I see something in this person. This is why I want them on my team. And then they choose for whatever reason to separate themselves from this project, which, no hate, no shade or anything like that. It's their choice. But then I think that it's disappointing to you because you see the potential and the quality. But if they don't see it in themselves, then they can't deliver anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I think that you as a person, in your mind was hoping, I want all these people that I know to win with me, to come up with me.
Yeah. But that's the way I see it.
That's the way you see it. You want everyone to come up and, we rise together, we eat together, we grow together. But if somebody doesn't even see that they want to grow within themselves, how can they grow within a team collaborative effort?
Yeah.
And I think that's forcing you to step out of this like circle that you kind of had created.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's forcing you to branch out.
No one around me want this as much as I do. Like no one. Sadly, no one does. No one does. Even I'll say his name. Not even Dennis. Dennis, if you're listening, like not even you, not even him. Like he's probably the second closest to wanting it as much as I want it. But to me, if I told Dennis I'm not doing this no more, he's not doing it no more either. So how bad does he really want it? Sometimes I do feel like I have to keep asking for things like, yo, let's do this, let's do that, and that's when I know someone's not really into it as much as I'm into it. If this is our baby, like you need to be doing things, like you need to be thinking about this thing all the time, not just when Chris is asking for something, so let me come through. Like no, it shouldn't be like that. But there's no one around me I won't even say work ethic because I can have more work ethic, but I feel like if I was around people that had that work ethic, then I would even be even crazier work ethic.
Hungrier with it.
Way hungrier. But I have the work ethic now, like, and that's even, that's like, in my head, I'm like, that's cute. You're saying you have the work ethic, but like, I'm down to put the work in. Like, I don't get discouraged by, there's no money right now. I don't get discouraged by, okay, this is taking up a lot of our time now, but I understand that people, if they're not getting money, they don't want to do it, And if people got girls, people are still want to do the matrix stuff. They still want to do the things that doesn't really matter, They don't want to put and that's what I'm also realizing. No one wants to put the work in. Everyone wants to join a finished product. No one's trying to build towards something. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if people get discouraged when they're around me just because they might feel like it's my show and I do what I want with it and my vision.
But see, I think that maybe, I don't know if you come across that way to other people, but I think that you're very like, you have a vision and you are able to say, hey, like when we talked about the pod, like even when I was a guest on your pod, you were like, you should have a podcast. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should. Like you have an eye for bringing out the best in people, but what good is it if they don't want to bring the best out in themselves?
Yeah. But I know everyone that I've been dealing with just in the past few months, last year, like, and I think that's motivating me now. Like, this has to work because I just can't. I want to like, yo, it's like, no. If you still need help to do something, no, I'm good. I figured it out. I'm good.
That's what I don't understand. It's like, I had sent you that rapper. I can't think of his name right now.
Simba?
I love watching.
Simba?
No, not Simba, the other one. Where he was talking about, the one who was talking about how his friend, it was all of him and his friends have built his...
La Russell.
Yes.
Yo, shout out to... La Russell is special. Special. I don't know how I came across his page. Obviously, the reels or something. I came across his page. And I've came across his page a few times. Like, I've seen a few of the reels. But I never... Like, I would watch him rap and whatever. But I never was like... I never followed him. And so, there was this one where he set up a stage in his backyard. And,
yes, he did.
Yeah,
yes, he did.
And I'm just hearing them spit, and I'm just like, yo, these new cats, like, they're not messing with the labels, yo. Like, people that have all the information, that study the game, like him, he's a nonprofit organization. The Good Company is a nonprofit organization. He's selling all this merch, making all this money. Bro, like, having a backyard shows, collecting all that money. His mom is like, and the way he even talked about how, like, him and his bros, like, I don't have my bros on payroll. Like, we don't, like, why? Like, for what? Like, we all put in work, and when I get paid for like a show or something, I shoot him a few dollars in, and it's just like, man, he actually liked my comment. I commented, I was just like, nah, I was like, this guy's special, and he just liked it.
Yeah, Real Simba, another one out of the Bay Area, and these two guys are just bringing in a whole different, in their own ways.
Simba gave me Kendrick vibes. He's the next Kendrick.
Heat. That's all I gotta say. I've been watching him for so long. Him and La Russell, I've been watching him for, I think, the end of last year I started watching him, but it's just like that. They're in their own complete lane.
Nicole, reach out to LaRussell. Let's set that interview up.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'll be like, hi.
Eventually, Siento is gonna branch out. We're gonna leave the community.
I'm telling you, he is in Vallejo. I just think that the Bay Area,
keep talking.
He's from the Bay. People always focus on crime and people always focus on hustling and all that. I get it, but LaRussell is giving you authentic, real flavor of how he came up, of how one of his reels today, I was going to send it to you because he said something about how now people want to reach out to him and DM him to work with him, but they didn't want to give him the time of day before. And it's so funny because it's like, you never know. That's why you have to be kind to everyone and cordial to everyone. I keep it so kosher with everybody because you never know when somebody's going to blow up. And if you were rude to them or you burned that lifeline, just be...
Yeah, man, it's inspiration to me now.
What he did in his backyard, I watched how he had a friend, someone like a local, hired a local person he's all about the local in the community. And it's just nice because, people talk about Vallejo and it's like, oh, it's ghetto and oh, it's this. It's like, there's a different side to it. He's giving it this like family cookout type feel.
I love his energy. I love
great energy.
Special. I haven't even listened to an album. I just be listening to the freestyles because he be spitting in them freestyles. I'm like, yo, this guy is.
And he's come out with a multitude. I want to say like 5 or 6. I don't know if albums, EPs. His way of thinking, his way of marketing. Like he was invited to do a show somewhere and he like was completely transparent. He's like, I'm not doing a show here because they didn't complete their end of the deal or something. And he's like, sorry, I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to, he's like, he said something like the food isn't good or something like he just played it like that. But even his marketing, like he was like, oh, this is the microphone I used at blah, blah, blah event. How much, kind of like auctioning it off. He's like, I'll sign it or just.
He's smart. Artists have to start realizing their
worth,
and their power. Like you don't need a label, bro. Like at all. You see all these. The only reason people even join labels, honestly, the only reason I would say join a label is if you want to be a mainstream act. If you want to be known by like grandmas and grandpas and like everyone knows who Drake is. Everyone knows who Cardi B is. Like if you want to go to that level, then you have to go towards. You need a label. You need a machine to do that for you. But if you just want to maintain a living off of music, you don't need the labels. You at all. Like
you don't.
You look at Currency, look at Dom Kennedy, look at you have all these examples of people that are doing now. Russell, even Russ is another example of someone that doesn't need you don't need a label, and you make so much money. You own all your masters. And
you're your
everything.
own boss. You're your own master. There's no one above you. There's no contract.
Nothing.
There's no hidden verbiage.
Nothing.
Blah blah blah.
Nothing.
But I think though that the system makes people believe. Even as podcasters, even as artists, if you're signed to this, if you get a deal with this, but what if you just have a great deal with yourself and your team and you guys are able to generate that income? Yeah,
you will. It'll be a slower build, but you can get there.
But it's yours.
And it's yours. Full ownership. That's why I'm always going to own all my IPs. I'm going to own everything. If anything, like if I ever do sign to a network or something, they're just going to be licensing my show. Mm-hmm. They're never going to own anything that I have. That you guys want to partner up and have it on your platform. Cool. I'll break you off a piece. You break me off a piece, but you're going to just be licensing my stuff. You're not going to be owning it. No. And that's the thing. Like there's so much info out here. All this information is out for everyone to hear. Like whatever you're into, go look into whoever is the biggest person in that industry or market that you're trying to get into, Yo, sometimes I'd be having thoughts like, I need to do music.
I know. I do
because music is the quickest thing that grows you. Music spreads way quicker.
You're passionate about it, though.
I am.
I feel. Now we're just getting real on here. I feel that podcasting is your passion, but I feel like you have this like love for music.
I love music.
Yeah,
I love music, and I would need a team for music too, because I can't write. I would want a ghostwriter. Oh, I would so Drake this, like, for real. I would so Drake it, like, man, because I can make my own melodies. I can hum, like, I can do my own cadences. I can say it. Like, if someone gave me a sheet of paper and it's like, yo, and if someone gave me a sheet of paper and then there's a beat going on, I can make it fit the beat. I'll figure out the melody. I'll figure out how I want to, like, tweak it and, like, when to use what words. But I struggle the most when it comes to, like, actually writing it and rhyming. And
so, like, then no freestyles for you, no ciphers, no anything.
Nah, like no.
Okay.
Oops. An hour 6. No, I'm not freestyling. If I'm freestyling, it's something that I just memorized.
You gonna have to memorize a lot of stuff then.
I'll be open about it though. I wouldn't come into the game like I'm the best rapper. I would just come into like, yo, I'm just making good music. If you want to vibe out, chill out, or listen to something, like, yes, here, this is what you can.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to cipher or.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, there are a lot of artists out there.
I'm not an MC
in the world who, some I question how they're even on music platforms, but there's someone out there who likes them.
Yeah. There's room for everybody. Yeah,
there's plenty of room.
But I definitely have those thoughts of just doing music, because music, you can be you don't have to hit the social media as crazy if you do music. I think that but that's tricky, because I feel like you do if you want to get discovered quicker. But if you have a hot song, it's gonna do what it's gonna do with regardless of social media.
What is that where, it's funny because we think alike. I was thinking in my head, like, I should just create a social media account, have some cool kind of like mask thing that hides my face, put one of the, what is it called when they change like the voice or whatever, and it's like
auto-tune?
Yeah, and just auto-tune my way to the top.
Yeah. No, for real. For real. For real. For real. You seen that little white kid, that rapping like Lil Baby?
No.
You haven't seen him? And he Lil Baby actually reached out to him and told him, like, if he gets a certain amount of retweets or listens or whatever, that he'll get on his remix or something like that. I forgot what it was. But wow. But this kid, it's a little southern white kid. But see, and this is why I like talking about music, because you have a lot to say about it. You keep track of it.
No, but
a lot to, like, I'm just not dumb. Like, I don't fall for the marketing tactics, right? Like, like, okay, maybe that kid did start bubbling because he was sounding like Lil Baby, and then everyone's just like, yo, this white kid does sound like Lil Baby. So he looks just like Lil Baby, but in a white version of him. Like, it's funny. But I start thinking, like, if the industry can have white rappers sound like all the black rappers, they would. They so would. Wow. They so would. Like, if they can have a white kid that sounds just like Lil Baby, why get Lil Baby out of here? Let's make this guy hot. I don't want to make it racy and make it about skin color, but that's just how it is. Like they try to make Iggy Azalea work. It didn't work.
That failed.
It didn't work. But now this is new chick. This is chick that signed to Russ, right? Her name's what's her name? Like Caitlyn. I think it's Caitlyn. She spit. She go, but it's a white girl, super like Snow Bunny. Super, and I'm just like, yo, that's so, but she go. I'm just like, okay, they're trying to get one of, they don't have a top white female rapper.
Do you remember I don't know if this is his name, Rob Deerdick?
Yeah.
Remember
Chanel
that
West Coast?
That Chanel girl was like,
didn't work.
Fail.
Didn't work. And this one I think can work because she spit, like, she sounds dope. I'm like, okay. I started following her just because I saw, I'm like, okay, the industry's gonna try to make her the top girl in the game.
But there's a difference though, regardless of race. It's, if you got it, you got it. If you can spit fire, you can spit fire. If you can't, you can't. If they're out here trying to, they try to build, they try to build a character and do whatever, but if you don't got it,
you don't got it.
Fail.
You don't got it. But if you got it, then you got it. But if you got it and you're white, you double got it. Like, not only are you like, that's why Eminem worked. We only cared about Eminem because he was a good rapper, and Dre gave him the cosign, but it's the same thing with like Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow is the new Eminem. They're trying to make Jack Harlow the new Eminem. The game hasn't had a successful white rapper since Eminem. Macklemore didn't work, even though he won a Grammy, but like perception wise and culture wise, it didn't work. Like Russ, it took a while for it to work, and Russ had to make it work himself. The label didn't make it work. That Kid Laroi kid, like it's just a bunch of little. I know what the industry is doing, man. I really know I know what they're doing. But now it's not even like, now if you're Hispanic and Latino, then that's who they're going for now too. That's why Cardi became Cardi so quickly. Cause I said, get Nicki out of here. We've been dealing with Nicki the last 10 years. She's been running the top of the thing. There's no other female rappers. As soon as Cardi came in, she won a Grammy already. Nicki don't even have a Grammy yet.
I know, that's so terrible to me.
And there's no way you can tell me Cardi's better than Nicki. Nicki has way more hits than Cardi had. Like, you can't tell me that.
Nicki is fire.
But because Cardi does have black in her, so she does hit that demographic. But you're light skinned. You're light skinned and you talk Spanish, so yeah, get the angry black woman out of here. Get Nicki out of here.
It's sad that even in the own industry, it's just.
It's sad.
It's sad.
Get her out of here, man. This whole this episode's gonna be the audio's gonna sound crazy because my vocals is just way too loud.
His vocals.
But that's just obstacles, guys.
Challenges.
I mean, last week was your birthday, you know.
Yes.
We didn't even intro this episode. We didn't do nothing. We're nothing.
Just raw and uncut.
Just raw. Because like we didn't have to be sharing what people was going on, but there's just something like, to me that's potting. To me, potting is when you share.
Yeah, it's when you keep it real.
Like potting, like to me, you know when people said like don't over explain. On potting, you have to over explain. Over explain on podcasting.
I'm here to tell you what it is. Yeah. Because I'm that person that when people start just saying like why does that matter? Like just get straight to the point. But on podcasting, like you need to do that. Create as much dialogue as you can. Stretch it out as far as you can. Make it as interesting as you can. Don't get straight to the point. Because then it's over real quick.
If we got straight to the point, we'd have been like, yo, welcome to Siento, Plática de obstacles. Yo, we've been going through so many obstacles. Yeah, see you guys next week.
Lots of them. Yep.
Bye. But we've been having like,
yeah,
we've had personnel
and
obstacles.
It's real.
We've had equipment obstacles.
We're being real. We're being transparent. It's not like we're here like acting.
There's no outline this episode.
It's real life.
We decided this morning we're just gonna talk about.
We're just gonna freestyle it, and maybe you guys like the freestyle stuff. I don't know.
Hopefully, I mean, a lot of people. If you're not into potting, I don't see why mixing stuff would matter to you. But whatever.
Yeah. But you could be someone who's into something else, and it could, or maybe you're inspired to become a mixer technician.
Basically, don't let obstacles discourage you from doing what you love to do. Oh, yeah, it can cause so many headaches. I can see why you can just be like, okay, whatever. I'm like, I don't care, and you can't let it discourage you, and you have to just keep producing. It's just a hiccup. It's just a hiccup, But I think this one, it got me more upset a little bit, just because we have finally got over like the engineer hump. We finally got over like audio hump, and to just this like stop everything you're doing. And like that, it just threw me off because I finally thought like we had gotten into a groove already. We were recording every week already.
We had a
since Mitch came on board. It was smooth the last 3-4 weeks. So then now it's just like, oh my god, I thought we were done. I thought Mercury been gone.
It was like the human aspect, the audio aspect, and then it was just a mechanical aspect.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. It's every aspect. But that's why I'm also thinking like if I'm gonna be a potter, like you need a backup pot and a backup mixer too, though. You need a backup one. As much as I don't want to keep it like, because I can't let that happen again. Because we could have still recorded that day. If I would have had this one, I could have been like, okay, just switch everything out. Keep recording, keep pushing.
Done.
But no, we had to like. And I legit thought it was like a computer issue. I thought it's something like a setting in my computer just wasn't. I had to fix something, so that's why I said like, because I had you wait like a whole hour after that day, and I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out. But then I started realizing, okay, I'm gonna really have to just dig in here and start doing YouTube videos, and I'm wasting everybody's time.
Shout out to YouTube, because you can learn anything on YouTube.
Yeah. And then I realized it wasn't my computer. It wasn't any settings. It was my mixer, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Physical.
Yeah, the hardware.
Item. Yeah, it's like, and sometimes it's something so small inside of that just could.
Like I told you the other day too, where all these obstacles are just I wouldn't even say prepping me. I would just say I'm learning from them. Like I'm in my 7th personal year, and these obstacles have just been teaching me lessons
of growth, patience,
and as subconsciously, like, because I'm not consciously like learning, but because I am in my 7th personal year, I'm realizing this whole year has really been like learning. Like I've been learning so much this year, whether it be about people, whether it be about my friends, whether it be about my circle, whether it be about technology, equipment, podcasting, reels, like content creation, like everything that I've just been learning that it's just been happening that I didn't set the intention. I didn't say I'm gonna go
color grading,
all that.
Yeah,
this year has
all
been a
that
lot
stuff.
of learning.
You're learning a lot,
but the biggest one to me is just learning about the people around me.
Yeah.
And when I say learning about it, I'm not saying learning about them like I'm not learning about them to where I'm realizing they're a completely different person than what I've learned to know. I'm not saying it like that. I've just learned more about them to where they don't have the work ethic. Maybe they don't want this as much as me. Maybe I can't force people to want this as much as they're my friends and I want to take them with me. Maybe they don't want to go with me.
That's okay though.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not even mad.
Yeah, it's okay.
But sometimes I feel like they're doing me the favor because they are my good friends. And I would sometimes just prefer them just being like, bro, I don't want to do this. I'm sorry.
You'd rather just have it direct, like than to try to appease you by doing something maybe they don't want to do, but they're not doing it fully committed, and then it's like.
But then when someone does tell me direct, I don't know if I don't get mad, but then maybe it is maybe it's a type of mad or just okay whatever because I don't talk to them no more.
Do you feel like that's something you need to work on, like maybe having work and friend time? Yeah, or are you just like a one-track person?
I mean, with the Good Brothers, I can do that because we just have history like that. Like with them, let's record now. But we can be dumb, we can be smoking and everything before we even get on the mics. Like we can break bread together. But everybody else is coming on board for the specific reason of helping me out do this pod. Like everyone else that's not the Good Brothers, those are all people that I've met with the intention of them helping me build this. It wasn't like, yo, we homies, so come help me out too, But, the Good Brothers and Sammy's a good brother too, but them, like, those are my brothers. So them it's a little bit different. But with everybody else, it's like I hit you up. I reached out with the intention of you coming to help me do this pod. So if you're not helping me do this pod, what's the point of me continuing to talk to you? Even though I've learned, like I've met you, like I've talked to you the last 3 weeks. Like Eugene, for example, and Joe, like they're not my homies, but I would consider them like, they're the homies. Now they're the homies.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah,
they're cool with me now,
sure.
Right? Yeah, but they came on board with the intention of helping me out. No, so like Joe, right? I haven't really spoken to Joe, because he hasn't really been helping me out like that, but. Sometimes I feel like, is that rude of me to not be reaching out to them like that? But then I start thinking, well, I only reached out because I needed this from them.
And they're probably, he's probably busy too. Like, he has a lot going on.
No, I'm not even, yeah. So I feel
it's just like a weird place where you're like, but I think that's just how it goes.
It's like, I'm gonna use Tony for example, right? Like Tony, that's my good brother, good friend. Like we go so back, like, but. Before he came on board to come potting with me every week, I wasn't talking to him every week. Not because I'm mad at him. It's just that as guys, we're not just constantly just hitting each other up. It's not like we're like, hey, what's good, bro, every day type of thing. But once he started recording with me every week, I felt like I started to get to know him more too. Like I started finding out more things about him. And I'm like, well, that's cool, that's Tony, but. if Tony right now told me, yo, I don't want to do this pod no more, it would go back to that. It would go back to me just like seeing each other probably 3 times out of the year, 3-4 times out of the year, you know, like it would go back to that. And I think that's messed up on my part because like I don't know, man. That's why I'd be stuck because I want people to help me do this, but if you're not helping me do this, then why do I need to talk to you? Why do I need to kick it with you? Why am I wasting just time with you? But that's so ugly to look at it like that.
Because also, don't you think you deserve to have some fun and just...
But this is fun to me. I'm over excuses, Nicole. I'm over even last week when you had said something to me, and this is not to throw any shots at you or none of that, you know. But you had said like when I told you about yo, it's when the mixture happened that day, and I was just like actually I'm lying. When I went to the zoo in San Diego, and I told you, I was like, I shouldn't have came to San Diego. I should just stay home, and I would have gotten so ahead of SNLS. And then you said, you know, sometimes you need to take a break from the mundane day to day type of thing. And I didn't want to hear that when I read that. I'm like, I don't want to hear that.
I knew you were gonna say that too.
I didn't want to hear that because it's like I know, Nicole. I know that it's okay to take a break. You've been doing something every day. Yes, go out. But the way I look at it is I haven't accomplished nothing to where I can take the time off. That's just the way I look at it.
But to you, it's nothing.
It's nothing. Relatively speaking, it's nothing, Nicole. I haven't made no dollars off this. It's nothing. It's nothing. I haven't accomplished nothing off this yet. That's the way I look at it. That's why I don't like when people say like, you know, take time away from whatever, you know, go reset. Because if that's the case, I'll reset forever. Like, I don't want to come back to this.
See, that's where we're different because I took time off from working with clients and I closed my books. I was like, I need a...
But that make you money though, Nicole. That's different. And your energy's being pulled when you do that.
Yeah.
That's different.
It's different. And I was like, I need a timeout.
Yeah.
So I could come back, recharged, refreshed. But yeah, it's the money. That's the...
I just don't like when people tell me like it's okay, you know, take time for yourself. Like I get that, like I get all that, but I just don't like when people start finding excuses. Like the other day, my homegirl too, I'm talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, how you been and everything?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've been good. You know, I have my days, but you just gotta keep pushing." And I'm like, "There's no time to be sad right now." And she's like, "Well, you know, sometimes it's okay to be sad, and you grow from it, and it's like." No, like that's just excuse. Like I get it's okay to be sad. That's not what I'm saying. But I can be sad while I'm producing. I can be sad while I'm doing something. Like I don't need to just be sad crying and taking a whole month away from something just because
you're just built different. That's how you.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's where I think, like for me, I could say, hey, you know, it's good. You took a break. Maybe you had fun in San Diego. Maybe you had a great time. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you were thinking about other things while you were there. But everyone's different. Some people like me, I could say, hey, I'm taking a break from here. This is the date I'm coming back. I know that I need to do X, Y, Z before I come back. But for you, it's maybe like, no, because maybe I'm going to get comfortable taking this break and I might not come back. So I know myself. And instead of, because sometimes, let's be honest, these breaks are, for some, for not all, is a way to like escape or not deal, you know, as opposed to you where maybe you're like, I don't want to take a break because then I'm going to be complacent here. I might stay here. Let me just deal with this head on. And maybe that's a way that you deal with it. You'd rather be busy. You might still have these thoughts. You might feel sadness, but you're like, I still want to get work done.
I think also the way I look at it is that, like I wouldn't mind taking a break, like the way you're talking about, just stepping away. If we have already something built, if something was already built, if we had
because you can take that luxury.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. I can take 2 months off, not pod, but the pod's still making money. The merch is making money.
Yes.
I can take the time off to go learn how to grow something and then come back with a whole new experience and pod about it. You know, you can do that, but when you're trying to, hasn't been built. So that's
this is the ramp up stage right now.
Yeah. So when I take time away from me, it's like, why am I taking time away from something that still needs attention? It still needs to be built. You know, like, I tell myself that, but it's also bad that, like you said, like, yeah, I was in New York, in San Diego, and I kind of was like negative Nancy because I realized I shouldn't have gone, but I also went because my mom guilt tripped me because I had told her like, yo, she came in the studio, I was editing, and she's all like, oh, you're not gonna go with us, and I'm like, nah, I think I'm gonna pass, Mom. Like, I just have to edit all this. It's the day after I had to reset all my stuff on my computer, so we were already behind for the reels. Think about it, it was already Wednesday, and you didn't have no reels yet, so. And I uploaded the YouTube video even late. It didn't drop on early Wednesday. It came out late Wednesday. It came out like in the night after I uploaded it. So I'm in here editing, and she's all like, "Oh, you're not gonna go with us?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay, Mom. I'm already backed up, and I just have to do everything." And she goes, and then we had the dog issue too. So I'm like, "Oh, I have to watch the dog because we had no one to watch him the other day." And then she's all like, "Oh, well, we can just give you the key to your tia next door." And I'm just like. And like her saying that to me is like she wanted me to go, So I was just like, okay, yeah, like just give me like an hour and I'll finish and we'll go. So I was able to finish the video, and I just put it to export. And when I went exporting, we just dipped. But then when I'm over there and like in the zoo, because I didn't want to go to the zoo. I'm like, this is boring. Like I don't care, So
yeah,
I wanted to go to San Diego because we were gonna do stuff after the zoo, So that's the only reason I kind of was down to go. But I didn't want to go. We were just to spend 4 hours at the zoo, I don't care that much. So then we were there, and I'm like, and then I started realizing like midway through the thing where I was just like, I should have stayed home. Like I should have stayed home. I could have had like at least 3 reels by now. I could have been ahead of stuff. I could have just.
Yeah.
I didn't like that because everything just happened. You didn't get all the reels till like Friday, Saturday. I think you got them all. So I was just kind of like. But I wasn't enjoying myself, and I started becoming this negative Nancy, and that's not good either. Like, no. Okay, bro, you went. Now you're over here. You're on their time. So make the best of it. Have fun.
Right. Make the best of it.
But it's hard for me to make the best of something where like I'm at the zoo's boring. Like, what am I as a grown man? What are you really doing at the zoo? I'm not Google gagging over the animals. I'm actually like, yo, this fake. They fake.
I'm actually like, this is kind of sad. They're trapped.
Not the San Diego Zoo. You never been to San Diego Zoo?
No, I've never been.
See, like San Diego Zoo is fire. Like, I've been looking at their habitats, and I'm like, why would you want to be in the wild? Like, y'all have this because you have to go to San Diego Zoo. It's so dope. Like they have the bird cage is so fire, so fire. Like it's like Jurassic Park type vibes.
Oh, interesting.
Like the whole park is like it's like a big old hole. So they have like the birds are in the rainforesty type of environment. Mm-hmm. Like the giraffes and the elephants, they're in the Africa type of environment. Like it's super dope. Like I get it, but at the same time I'm like, at least y'all taken care of. They're eating good and stuff like that. But then like my brother was trying to see the pandas, and I'm like, bro, pandas are fake. And he's like,
oh my god.
he's like, you think all the animals are fake? I'm like, look at them. How come they don't move? They're just there like little robots, just like doing the same little things, right? And then the pandas were out, and like, wow, how come they only have the red pandas, but they don't have the real pandas? I'm like, because they're not real. Like, why would they have the real pandas out here? Then I told my brother, I'm like, where are the gorillas at? Oh, they don't have any gorillas. I'm like, exactly, because they're not real either. Like koalas, we look at everything. I'm like, that's fake. And like, you think everything's fake? I'm like, look, it's just a robot. So I'm just being like negative and just walking around, and eventually I get tired. The San Diego Zoo has a lot of like just steeps and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I got tired. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. It's hot, I'm cool. And then we went
you were physically tired as well.
I was physically tired. I was just annoyed. Not annoyed. I was just like, I should have stayed home because I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew this was the zoo. Like I knew this was what I was coming to. But I was like, you know what, Mom, I'll go, whatever. And my mom's friend was in town, so we were taking her out to just sightsee different things, So that's where we went. But I didn't like that. I didn't enjoy it, and then I was just being negative all day. And at the same time, I should have just made the best of it. I could have came back with some content, something to talk about. But instead, I come back with like, I was mad and I didn't want to be there.
And there's a lesson in that too.
It's just a lot of a
lot of learning for you. It's a lot of good learning. Though.
It's a lot of learning, and I want to say that hopefully everything smooths out by the end of the year, or whatever. But the way I'm stepping into my enemy year, I'm already like my laptop. Something's gonna happen to my laptop next year. Watch.
Don't jinx yourself.
I'm not gonna jinx it, but I kind of already sense it. Like, as you're kind of moving, I don't know, we're starting to move slow already and stuff. I'm like, don't tell me this is gonna be my next obstacle right here. The laptops might be my next obstacle. I'm not gonna lie.
Eek.
I'm not gonna lie.
Meanwhile, I move into my 3 personal year of fun and meeting people.
Well, I'm gonna be my 8 personal year. So if that money don't come in, it's like money and enemies are conflicting.
Yeah, but I know people who, I think it's all how you navigate.
Oh, for sure.
Because I went back, some people are probably like, what are they talking about? But I went back into my calendars because I keep a lot of calendars and I keep notebooks, as you know. And I was like, wow, I made a lot of money that year. But it was my enemy year. But I was like, okay. It's all about how, I think if you're focused and you're not, and you lay low and you do the right things, I think it works.
Well, I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
I'm hoping for a team. That's what I'm hoping for. A team.
Yes.
And I just have to figure out a way to make some money ASAP, because I want to pay for a team. I don't want to deal with headaches no more. I don't want to deal with like me feeling bad because, you know, they're doing it for free. They're doing it out of their own love, and I have certain expectations. Like, I'd rather just start paying people money, and it's like, yo, what's good? Like, you didn't come through. All right, cool. No pay. Next. Let the money talk instead of me talking.
Because you're ready for this to be a full-fledged business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like legit, like, because even now, like what I was giving Joe, right? Like, that's a little bit of money for mixing. It takes a while to listen to a whole episode, mix it, and then if you have to keep doing revisions, like it takes a minute to be getting paid what you were getting paid. Like, he was doing me a solid.
Yeah.
So I have to start understanding that if I want people to give it their all, I have to give them not even their worth, but I have to pay them what this type of work is worth. Not even their worth, you know, just what this is worth. Like, video stuff is, if I'm not giving you over $1,000, then why would you even agree to do my video stuff? If I'm not giving you even like over $500 to $1,000 for audio, why are you even doing my audio stuff? You know, why go through the you know, and again, like someone else that looked at it the way I looked at it, they'll be like, you know, I don't care. Like, Chris got it. Like, he has a like a Dennis in a way. Dennis to an extent is that person where, like, bro, just do this, do that, do this, and he listens to me because he knows that what I'm doing. But with him, I have to hold him by the hand, you know. And it's been less holding hand for him since starting Siento.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of expansion, growth.
Oh, always.
But it takes time.
Always.
I think sometimes we want things to move quick.
Always. Quick, and because we're trying to make money.
Yeah.
I don't want to go get another job, and it's looking like I might have to pick up another job, but I don't want to do that, but I might have to do that. And the only reason the only reason I'm going to do that is because I want fast money. I don't want to. I mean, I could start like a little food business and just start selling plates out my house or whatever, just making quick. And there's just so many things I could do that I don't attempt to do because it's going to take time away from this. I don't even have a team to help me with this, so it's going to take all the time away from this. And the only reason I would agree to do something that's gonna take away time from this is because of the money. So that's why I'm trying to figure out how to make money off of this ASAP. So I'm already putting all the time and energy into this. Now it would just be nice to get paid per episode.
Right.
Every 50 plays you get like a cool $100 or something. Even something small like that, you know, where we aim towards something, but. I'm not gonna act naive. I know there's no money in podcasting. If you're getting into podcasting for money, there's no money in podcasting. The money starts coming in when you build your audience, when you build your brand, when you build a solid foundation. That's when you can start monetizing your fans and your listeners and all that stuff. But until then, you're just potting for fun, and it's okay.
Well, it's okay. It's good to have. But I miss passion.
I miss potting from the perspective of not worrying about money.
Yeah.
Because now I pot with the intentions of like, how can we make this hotter? How can we make this better? It's about more listens. Back then, a lot of times, like, I didn't care. Like, throw it out, put it out. I like the episode, put it out. But now, I started paying attention to numbers a little bit more. I started like, and I hate looking at numbers because numbers also discourages you.
Yeah.
I don't know, Nicole.
We're here, though.
It's going to work out. I know it's going to work out.
Have faith. We have faith.
But I've just been, I have faith. I know it's going to work out. Like, I know it is. It's just like, I need a team. I need a team. I keep saying that. And I can like just be like, okay, we're not gonna record no more until I have a team. But the way we do this pod, I can manage just us, us two for right now. Like this is easier to do than OB. OB it's a whole different story. Yes. But even now, like I don't have someone running the boards and stuff as of late. So now it's adding more work to post-production too, because I have to go and chop up this whole video and put, and I don't have to do that again. I don't have to do that. I can literally just be like, F it, whatever it is, what it is, throw it out. But I hate when I start feeling like we're going backwards. Yeah. Because we're making progress to just go backwards. Like the first few videos were just one angle. It wasn't all the angle switches because we just weren't there yet. I didn't think I can angle switch with you on the screen and stuff like that. Right. And then eventually we made it better. And then like we keep making it better and better and better to then just go back to just having one whole thing. Like to me, it's just going backwards, and I don't like that. That's the only reason why I started. Yeah, that's the only reason why I started forward. Just breaking it down myself. But
yeah, and I mean, if you're listening, thank you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Appreciate the people who comment on the reels.
Oh man, it's already been an hour and 30. Oh yeah, we out of here. Plática the obstacles. Yeah. No outline, no music, no topics, no nothing. Like just wanted to vent to you guys.
And we're even recording on a Saturday.
Oh wow, yeah, we are. This is definitely a Saturday. Saturday morning at that. We don't record
Saturday morning.
While y'all having breakfast, while y'all watching cartoons.
Here we are.
While y'all cuddled up, we are here recording Sorry No Lo Siento for you guys. For whoever cares. Whoever cares.
And we appreciate you. And then I'm going to go to the gym after this, get my workout on.
It's my mom's last. It was supposed to be my mom's last weekend, but she's waiting for her car. Now they told her that she's supposed to get it yesterday. Now they pushed it back till Monday, Tuesday. So she'll be gone. She'll be here till Monday, Tuesday. Oh. And I keep telling her like, Mom, they're gonna push it back till Friday. I'm cool with it. I like having my mom here. I ain't gonna lie. I keep telling her just to stay, but I have to go back to my city with my friends and everything. Blah blah blah. I was like, I get it. The only reason I want them to leave is just because like when they're here, I just have more vacation mode in me a little bit.
And when they're gone, you're on that hustle. And
I'm more like, okay, let's pound this day.
Yes.
Yeah. Like when they're here, it's like, oh, we're doing this on Thursday. Okay, Nicole, let's record. Let's just skip it Thursday. It makes me want to do more of like just things with them. So while them out the way, it's just like there's no one in the house out there. There's no noise, no nothing. So I can just
do what you need to do.
I can work on my outline out there, because even that, like I've been spending most of my time in the studio, so I smoke in here. I do my outline in here. I do everything in here, and I'm not used to just being in the room. I like being in the living room where I'm usually at, have my TV there, have the speakers there, have the wider table where I can just, create more freely. But I'm just a complainer.
I think you're just venting, and that's normal, and it's okay.
I vent on my pods. I don't vent on Twitter no more. I don't vent on Instagram no more. I don't do none of that stuff. On my pod is where I give you guys
the raw truth from Chris X Matt.
Yeah. But let me play some music real quick because I at least gotta play something, because even though you can't hear it, but
I know.
I gotta play something because I'll be laughing. It don't work. Yeah, see, it's not working. I don't know what's going on with my mixer because I can't hear it. If I have the volume down. I don't know.
Well,
you see, I have to sit down. That's the thing, though. I don't want to sit down and learn the mixture. Like I have to go in there because I know it's temporary. So
it's only temporary.
I want my mixer back. I didn't realize how much I loved it till I had it gone. Sometimes. Think about it. I have a 24 channel mixer. Like 24. That's a lot. This is only it's only like 5.
Wow.
And I don't need all 5. That's why I'm not really tripping. But it just throws me. I don't know the techie stuff. I don't know how to use a mixer with the USB. I need the XLR cables. I need the TRS ones connected to the 1/4-inch cable. Like I just need so much. Just obstacles. But yeah, let's get out of here, Nicole, because I'm sorry. It might be the least pleasant audio experience from us, but
guess what? Sorry.
No lo siento. We out of here. See y'all next week.
Bye.